I was getting in this habit to where I'd get the club too far this way and it would go across the line. And so this extension is more visual for me because I can see where the club is pointing and feel it.
Okay, Karts, we've hit a few shots here, some of them good, some of them not so good, but we're going to use a training aid here, very expensive, complicated one of a pencil, to use this and show players at home some great references throughout their swing just by using this single piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's so cheap and easy. It's just exactly up our street. Right, so we're basically going to put the pencil into the butt of the club. There we go. Right, pencil is in the butt of the club, and this is going to basically aid you in understanding where the golf club needs to be at certain points in the swing, and we're going to reference in particular takeaway and delivery position. Okay, so if I take my setup, my takeaway position is I bring it into parallel. At this point now, pencil is pointing parallel to my feet and straight down my target line.
Yeah, and the reason that the pencil is great, you've probably seen this before with an alignment stick, maybe on the underside of the grip. It does influence your grip a little bit when you're holding that. So just having the pencil, with the added bonus of having the rubber on the end there, just gives us some awareness of an extension of that club. Okay, so for example, now we can see from the face-on view very well that this pencil is matching the alignment stick down on the ground. Nice parallel lines. As a general reference, this is kind of where you want to be. And then also the end of the pencil now pointing down towards the target. Now, it's more so building an awareness and feel around where that is pointing, Andy, than it is just the fact of, oh, I can see it's pointing there.
Yeah.
It's just being conscious of it, right? And even if you were just to think about the end of the grip, that can also be beneficial. Now, from that section of the swing, as you then move up into the next stage, I want you to talk about that next phase as the club swings back.
So the beauty of it is a lot of players, I see a lot of players kind of trying to follow the club head and follow the shaft, and suddenly you're kind of coming out of posture and you're losing feels, because the idea of the drills is to put yourself, mimic positions that you want to put yourself into the golf swing. But when you start kind of pulling the posture up and looking for it with your eyes and looking at the shaft, and then suddenly you're up here. Yeah. I mean, like, well, the shaft's perfect there, but then you're completely not in posture. You're not in the position you're trying to get into. So just having something here at the edge of the club, you can just minimal influence on your setup and your posture. I'm just looking at the pencil there, pointing straight down the ball line at kind of P2. And as I get to the top of the backswing, we could look at it again from here. It's just out the corner of my eye where it's pointing away from target, parallel to target.
Yeah, and essentially what we would see is a big extension of this target line where the ball is. If we drew an imaginary line from where the golf ball is to our target and then all the way back, we'll see that generally we want this pencil to be pointing somewhere along that line. Now, recent Olympic champion, world #1, cleaning up this year, Scottie Scheffler. You'll see him do this drill a lot with his coach, Randy Smith, really about at the top of the swing, getting a reference for if his swing is getting laid off or across the line or something similar.
He struggled with laid off, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So what we're doing here is we're simply just breaking it down a little bit more to make it and bring awareness to how you can use this drill throughout every section of the swing. So Karts, now we've gotten to the top, what are we doing on the way down?
So on the way down, I like to kind of go straight into delivery position from that top of the backswing and almost kind of feel as if you're mimicking takeaway. Yeah. Obviously, lower body position is different. You've got pressure and weight and rotation.
Just quickly stop there. Show me the difference between the takeaway position and the downswing position. So go back for me. You'll see nice amount of hinge. Everything's looking parallel to that line. We've got the end of the pencil pointing down. Now, if you don't make a backswing, but kind of get into that same position in the downswing, we will notice some big differences. Yeah. We're not saying that the backswing and the downswing are the same.
It's the same, yeah.
It's a very different athletic move, but in reference of that shaft, it's actually very, very similar.
Purely looking at it from a shaft and a pencil perspective, they're the two positions I'm trying to kind of mimic again on the way down. Like I said, obviously more pressure into the lead side, more rotation, etc., with the upper bodies rotated a bit more as well towards the target. But this club, this positioning is pretty identical. And again, it works as a perfect reference point. I often tell my students is go into understand what takeaway is, get into takeaway, get yourself to the top and bring it straight back down again, and just get yourself back into that delivery position again. So again, we don't get any sort of disconnection, or we don't get stuck. So also by bringing this golf club down correctly, it actually helps this lead hip open up as well. So if your arms start working back down into position, you get in that pencil, point as a reference point, pointing down the target line, you can start to feel the pressure into your lead side and feel that hip rotation. Again, doesn't need to be 90 degrees. We're just looking for it to be, I always could say, just left of the golf ball in line with your lead foot. So nothing too exaggerated again.
Okay, now after impact, make your way through for me. Now, we can use this as a reference of releasing the golf club. If you're a player and this pencil's always pointing behind you, and at the top of the swing, if you put two hands on, mate, and you swing and the pencil's actually pointing down, you have never released the golf club. So if you twist your whole body and face this camera for me, Carts, you'll see that the club is still staying in this very open upward position versus the full release would mean that the arms have folded and gone down like this. So in the follow through position, going back down towards the target line there, mate, as you then make your follow through, you're going to see that this grip end and the pencil should be pointing pretty much down along that ball line again.
Yep.
Yeah. So for the rest of the swing and the follow through, it doesn't really matter as much. However, I will give you one little cheat code you can use if you want to release the golf club better and reduce your slicing, is if you get all the way to your finish for me, Carts. Perfect. If your grip end never points at the target in the distance, you have never released the golf club. A lot of players will finish with the grip end down and around their body.
Yeah.
So by simply getting the sensation and feel that you're getting the grip end pointing at the target, it'll get you actively releasing that club face. And you get some distance for free. It's a great feeling.
That is a cheat code. I like it.
Learning from each other on the tee. So,
I like it.
Look, incredibly high-tech, expensive piece of equipment. Everyone's got one in the bag. Use a pencil just to give yourself some great references of where you should be out throughout the swing to improve your golf game.